up, everybody? It's AT. Appreciate you joining me for this Aaron Torres Pod YouTube bonus clip. In just one moment, we're going to discuss if Colorado is already being overlooked in the 2024 college football season. Yeah, we're going to hit on that in just 1 second. Before we do, though, do want to give you a quick reminder. You see the little subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure to subscribe to the Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel. We are, wall-to-wall stuff here. College football, college basketball, all sorts of things going on in the world of sports. We are not slowing down. We are not stopping. We're closing in on 32,000 subscribers. Cannot do it without your support, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. With that said, let's go ahead and talk some college football. Season is over. And what's interesting to me, it was funny, right? December, even as we were going through bowl season, whatever, it felt like Colorado football was always in the news. Signing names out of the transfer portal. You start to look at the Jordan Seaton situation. Is he going to sign? Is he not going to sign? He signed his letter of intent, but he didn't send it in. What's really going on? And it felt like every single day for about 3-4 weeks there, right up until Christmas, Colorado was always in the news. But since then, it's been very, very, very quiet at Colorado. I bring it up because with the season being done, it is not too early to look ahead, and it is not too early to already ask the question if Colorado is being overlooked. The reason I ask is because obviously with the season being completed on Monday night, Michigan is your national champion. By the way, hate to brag, my preseason pick told you they were going to win it, but I bring it up, Michigan wins the national championship. But where it gets interesting is that following the regular season being over, all of those way too early top 25s get released. And I looked at all of them. Now, I will admit I put one out myself, but one thing that I noticed, I did not see Colorado in a single one of them. And I'm starting to wonder, are we once again overlooking Colorado? And should they at least be in the conversation for the top 25? They were in the conversation for me, didn't quite make it. But I think there's a scenario where they're already being overlooked this offseason, much like they were last year. Now, I know what a lot of people will say, people that are not Colorado fans. They'll say, Torres, oh my God, you never stop talking about Colorado. Overrated. Oh my goodness, how could you even pretend to think that they are a top 25 team next year? Well, like I said, I do think they're in the conversation. And if you're going to tell me that because they were 4-8 this year, it completely discludes them from being in the conversation next year, I'll tell you, buddy, you're wrong. There's nothing else for me to say other than that you're wrong. Think about a couple of teams that Colorado played this year and some of the ones that they did not. Arizona. Remember the Wildcats? Finished the season 10-3 overall. Guess what? They were 5-7 a year ago. Had a really good offense. The defense was bad. It was greatly improved through the portal. And all of a sudden you look up, Arizona goes from 5-7 to 10-3. Worth noting, remember who Arizona beat in the Alamo Bowl? May have heard of them. The Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma was 5-7 a year ago. Improves through the portal. Next thing you know, they're 10-3 this year. If they get the right breaks, they're playing for a Big 12 championship. It doesn't work out. But the bottom line is those are two examples right off the top of my head of teams that struggled last year that finished not only in the top 25, but like in the top 15 nationally this season. And so it can be done. And when I look at Colorado, I'm here to tell you, man, I think it could potentially be done with Colorado as well. Because obviously, look, we all got into all the hype this early in the season, and it did not end well. But when you start to look at the commonalities, the parallels between, say, in Arizona, say, in Oklahoma, and say, Colorado this coming season, I think there's quite a few. First of all, Colorado's going to have a good team next year and a much improved team. I know it's easy to see how the season ended and say it's a disaster. It's not going to work out. Coach Prime's in over his head. But what did I just tell you about Arizona? Great offense, improved defense in the portal. Oklahoma, great offense, improved defense in the portal. How would you describe Colorado? By the way, Oklahoma, second-year quarterback in the system, Dylan Gabriel this year. What is Colorado going to have? Not only a second-year quarterback in this system, more importantly, he is going to be a player that I believe is going to be as talented as any quarterback in the Big 12 next year. Remember, Colorado is going to the Big 12, and that is an important note here. There is no Oregon on the schedule. There is no Washington on the schedule, even though Colorado did not play them this year. There is no USC. And so, to me, You start to look around the Big 12 next year. Listen, the kid from Arizona, Noah Fafita, is really good. He won a lot of games. Cam Rising will be back from Utah. But at the same time, there isn't a better quarterback on paper than the one that Colorado will have in that conference in Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders could be a top 10 pick if everything breaks right next year. He will be on paper the most talented quarterback in that league. If you start to look at the rest of the offensive line, obviously much improved. We talked about it a ton. Jordan Seaton, the Khalil Benson kid, the transfer from Indiana. Tyler Johnson, transfer from Houston, started his career at Texas. O-line should be much improved. The run game, because of it, should be much improved, as well as getting healthy. Alton McCaskill, another transfer from Houston, really talented player. It was not healthy this year. They tried to rush him back. Coach Prime said, wait a second now, you're not ready. We're not going to put you out there. He will be healthy and ready to go. And oh, by the way, I've said this many times. This will be the best wide receiver core in the Big 12, and I'll put it up with just about anybody nationally. Now, Ohio State's got a lot of 5 stars, but you get past Ohio State, look at this receiving core. Jimmy Horn, like 60 catches this year. Awesome. He's back. Travis Hunter, we know is as gifted as any wide receiver in the country. He's back. Draylon Miller, highly rated recruit, was committed to Texas A&M, flips to Colorado. He's coming in. Amarion Miller, who had that breakout game against USC, he's coming back. Will Shepard, transfer in from Vanderbilt. He's coming in. The kid, by the way, they just got a 1,000-yard receiver from Florida Atlantic like a few hours before I'm recording this segment. LeJontay Wester. So you go on and on down the list. That is the best receiving core in the Big 12. I'm here to promise you, it is. No doubt about it. There's not even a debate. So the offense, in my opinion, will be improved, and the defense should be improved too. Now, it's going to be a work in progress. You need more bodies, but you brought in 3, 4, 5 difference makers along the defensive line. You brought in a couple linebackers that everybody wanted, including Keaton Wade from Kentucky, who was a star in the making in the SEC. The defensive backfield, again, I'd argue as much talent as anybody in the Big 12. Travis Hunter, first-round NFL draft pick at cornerback. Shiloh Sanders, really freaking good. Ton of college experience. Cormani McClain, you would expect to make a sophomore leap. Amarion Cooper, starter this year until the end of the season when he got hurt. You brought in a couple other cornerbacks and defensive backs from the portal. You brought in a couple high school kids. The Cam Michael kid, I think, is going to start as a cornerback. Not like be a literal starter, but he will start as a potential corner, like rotation guy. So I just bring it up because look across the board. The talent has improved exponentially. And more importantly, I think the competition kind of went a little bit south. Now, there's some good teams in the Big 12, make no doubt. I don't know, make no doubt. I don't think that's a term, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what Torres is trying to say. But look, I think Oklahoma State's good. I don't think they're unbeatable. They got destroyed by Texas in the Big 12 championship game. Easily could have lost to a Texas A&M team that was down about 1,000 guys in their bowl game. Kansas State's good, but they lose a lot. First-year quarterback that will be starting for them. Kansas will be good. But you know who I think is going to be impact day one in the Big 12 next year? Utah and Arizona, who are both coming from the Pac-12 and who Colorado played tough last year. Arizona beat Colorado on a walk-off field goal. Easily could have been an Colorado win. Utah lost by 6 to Colorado without Shedeur Sanders. Could have been a win. So I could go on and on. But what I am here to say is that when you start looking at next season, there is going to be room for teams to rise in that new Big 12. And there are always teams that are better than we think in the preseason. Now, listen, I did have the Arizona over. I didn't think they were winning 10 games. I think the over-under was like 4.5, though. I said they're winning more than 4.5 games. So Arizona, perfect example this year. Teams always get better, always improve. You just got to find which ones. I would add, remember a year ago, oh, Colorado might be the worst team in Power 5 football. Then what happened? They beat TCU, beat Nebraska, started 3-0, started 4-1. Struggled out down the stretch without that depth, but they overachieved relative to preseason expectation. So I'm not here to say that it is an egregious, embarrassing oversight that most people didn't even consider them for a top 25. But I'm here to say when you look at the new guys coming in, whether it's through the portal, through the high school ranks, with the returnees. I think Colorado's going to be in the top 25 at some point next year. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were one of those teams that makes that leap from good to very good in 2024. By the way, remember, Coach Prime's first year at Jackson State, 4-3. That was the COVID 2020 season. Next year, 4-3 to 11-2. The guy's got a plan. I trust him, and I'm excited to see it play out. And yes, I do think they are underrated. If you enjoyed this video, do me a quick favor. Make sure to subscribe to the Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel. New videos, new clips coming out all the time. And we'll talk Coach Prime all off season into next season. Cannot wait. Appreciate your support. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here soon.